The 300-300 Club is one of the most prestigious clubs in all of baseball. Of the more than 20,000 players who have played Major League Baseball, you can count on your hands the number of guys that can say they've hit at least 300 home runs and stolen at least 300 bases. In fact, there are only 8 players who've done it. Many great players have come dangerously close to entering the 300-300 Club over the years. Rickey Henderson obviously met the mark with his 1,400 career stolen bases, but he fell just 3 home runs short, finishing with 297. Craig Biggio fell just 9 home runs short, finishing with 291 bombs and 414 steals. Alfonso Soriano, one of only 5 players in all of history to post a 40-40 season, fell just 11 stolen bases shy for his career, collecting 412 homers and 289 steals. Don Baylor fell just 15 steals shy, finishing with 338 and 285. And the list goes on with guys like Bobby Abreu, Eric Davis, Ryne Sandberg, and Hanley Ramirez. And believe it or not, Mike Cameron came very close to entering the club, finishing his career with 278 homers and 297 steals. I didn't remember Mike Cameron being a huge standout player, but when you take a look at his baseball reference page, you see he was consistently productive for a long time. He had 5 different seasons with 20 homers and 20 steals. Hey, nice career, Mike. And there was a point in time where it seemed like Mike Trout was a surefire shot to become the next member of the 300-300 Club. By age 26, he had already collected 240 homers and 189 steals. But then his stolen base numbers just sort of fell off a cliff. Over a 4-year stretch from age 28 to 31, Trout only stole 6 total bases. Yes, only 6 steals in 4 years. And at age 32, it doesn't look like he's going to get there. So what about the 8 players who are in the club? Well, 6 out of the 8 guys will come as no surprise to most baseball fans. The first player to enter the club, or I guess you could say the man who created the club, was the great Willie Mays. Mays is, of course, considered one of the greatest 5-tool players of all time. He led the National League in both home runs and stolen bases 4 times each. As will be the case with most of the others on this list, he stole the majority of his bases in his 20s, but he slowed down in his 30s. And it took him longer to reach the 300 stolen base threshold than it did the 300 homer mark. But he finally collected his 300th steal in 1969 in his age 38 season. 10 years after this, Willie Mays' own teammate, Bobby Bonds, became the second player to enter the club in 1979. Bonds is one of only 2 players in the club who actually collected more steals than homers for his career. He was also the second youngest player to break into the club, doing so at only age 33. And his 461 steals are the second most among the 300-300 Club members. Next up came the Hawk, Andre Dawson. Although Dawson never stole 40 bags in one season and only hit 30 home runs in a season 3 times, he was consistently productive for a very long time. He put up 5 separate 2020 seasons between 1978 and 1983, and he entered the club at age 35 with his 300th stolen base in 1990. Next to join the club was Bobby Bonds' son, Barry. Barry broke into the league in 1986 and quickly began accumulating big numbers. Barry remains the youngest player to join the club, and he also did it in the shortest amount of time. It only took Barry 11 seasons to reach the 300-300 threshold, doing so at age 31. And whether or not you're a fan of Barry Bonds or not for PED-related reasons, it's worth noting that Barry joined the 300-300 Club in 1996, well before, well, you know. The next 2 players to join the club, we're going to save for later. Then in 2010, Alex Rodriguez became the 7th member of the club, finally stealing his 300th bag at age 34. By this time, he had already hit over 600 homers. And the 8th and most recent member to join the club is Carlos Beltran. Beltran had the power-speed combo right off the bat, collecting his first 2020 season in his rookie year in 1999 at age 22. He went on to collect 7 2020 seasons in total. And strangely enough, Beltran's career totals in homers and steals are eerily similar to Andre Dawson's. So, if guys like Rickey Henderson and Alfonso Soriano couldn't even make the cut, who are the 2 other players in this prestigious club? When I looked up the 300-300 Club out of curiosity, I was honestly surprised that out of all the players in the history of the game, these are the only 2 other guys who've done it. There's a list of probably 40 or 50 guys that I would have guessed before these 2. So, first up, drum roll please, we have Reggie Sanders. Of the 8 players in the club, Reggie Sanders made the cut by the narrowest of margins, finishing with 305 homers and 304 steals. Sanders played the first 8 years of his career with the Cincinnati Reds, with whom he hit 125 homers and 158 steals. He actually averaged 25 homers and 32 steals per 162 games with the Reds, but he never played more than 138 games in a season with Cincinnati. He had a career year in 1995, hitting .306 with a 155 OPS plus, collecting 28 homers, 99 runs batted in, and 36 stolen bases, and finishing 6th in MVP voting. But after leaving Cincinnati, it was quite the journeyman experience for Sanders. From 1998 to 2004, Sanders played 7 consecutive years with 7 different teams. As a Cardinals fan, I will always remember Reggie Sanders as a key part of that 2004 team that won 105 games and made it to the World Series, only to get swept by the Red Sox team of destiny. I think that's the best Cardinals team of my lifetime, even though they didn't end up winning the series. It was such a stacked lineup that Sanders, who still put up another 2020 season at age 36, was hitting 7th in the lineup on most nights. Sanders was really just a great athlete, playing until he was 42 years old. He collected his 300th steal at age 39 and his 300th homer at age 41.
I think it should also be noted that Sanders has one of the best home run hops out of the batter's box in baseball history. It's not quite as eccentric as Sammy Sosa's, but it's very smooth and it's got some style.
And who's the other surprising member of the 300-300 Club?
It's actually one of Reggie Sanders' teammates on the 2001 World Series champion Arizona Diamondbacks.
None other than Steve Finley. Coming up with the Baltimore Orioles in 1989, Steve Finley played 19 seasons with 8 different teams from 89 to 07. And his trip to the 300-300 Club was a very slow burn. If Mike Trout is the hare of this story, Steve Finley is the tortoise. He stole a lot of bags early in his career, swiping 117 in his first 4 seasons, but his power at the plate really didn't start showing up until age 31. In his first 5 seasons in the league, Finley never hit more than 8 home runs in a season, and he only had 47 homers through his age 30 season. But then in his mid-30s, he finally found his power stroke, averaging 26 homers per year from age 31 to 39. Finley is a guy who really defied the aging curve. Not only did he steal 10 to 15 bags per year even in his late 30s, he also continued playing stellar defense in center field in his older age. He won 5 Gold Gloves in center, one of them at age 35 and one of them at age 39. How many 39-year-olds have won a Gold Glove in center field? I'm not sure, but it can't be a lot. And exactly like Reggie Sanders, he collected his 300th steal at age 39 and his 300th homer at age 41. All in all, he averaged 19 homers and 20 steals per 162 games for his career, finishing with 304 and 320. So, who might be the next player to join the 300-300 Club? The first name that comes to mind for me was Ronald Acuna Jr., who is sitting at 165 homers and 196 steals at only age 26. In 2023, he became just the 5th player ever to post a 40-40 season. But after suffering his second major knee injury in 2024, I'd say his future stolen base numbers are in jeopardy. Mookie Betts is sitting at 262 homers and 181 steals through age 31, but he's not stealing as many bases as he used to, so I'd say it's a long shot. Jose Altuve has already collected 300 stolen bases, but he's sitting at 222 homers at age 34, so I'd say he's a long shot as well. One guy who might have a decent shot is Jose Ramirez. At age 31, he has 239 homers and 217 stolen bases. And he stole 28 bases last year at age 30, so he's still collecting steals at a pretty good clip. And if you're looking for a super young player who certainly has the potential but still has a long way to go, I'd go with Bobby Witt Jr. Witt put up a 20-30 season in his age 22 rookie year and followed that up with a 30-40 season at age 23. He's just a beast. If he can stay healthy, who knows? Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, do me a huge favor and hit the like and subscribe buttons. It helps me out a lot.